Hello and welcome back to Millennial Theramom. So, if you are a postpartum or just a mom or a parent in general, have people ever told you just rest, just sleep when the baby sleeps, just take a nap? So, I know that that's probably something you might have heard, but today I'm going to help us jump a little bit more into a more rounded view of what caring for yourself in postpartum and beyond could look like. And it's actually really kind of full circle for me because I had first created a video about this topic around the acronym NEST when I myself was 6 months postpartum. So you can definitely go check out that video and see baby JoJo, baby millennial Theramom doing her thing. But it's really cool just to see how the whole podcast has evolved and how some of these things are still really relevant even now when I am 2 years and 2 months postpartum. So definitely stick around because I hope that you get some good takeaways to take care of yourself or to share with your homegirl, share with your co-parent, share with somebody in your life who you know is in the trenches of postpartum or motherhood or parenthood and just needs a little pause and a little reminder to take care of themselves too. So NEST is an acronym that helps us remember the core areas of postpartum care and, like I said, care for ourselves beyond as well that actually matter. And at the end of this video, I have created a little script for a little guided meditation that goes through all of these. But the five areas are nutrition, exercise, sleep, time for yourself, and support. So I'm going to go through each one of these briefly. Again, every postpartum and every parent is different. The circumstances, the access that we have is different. The support that we have is different. So I want you to think about what does this look like for you in your actual life? What's realistic? What's within your capacity? Knowing that even if it's a tiny, tiny baby step, that's progress and we take it, right? We don't let shame and the you're not doing enough talk stop us from doing a little bit because that's really what it is. It's just baby steps. So first, nutrition. So it's not about dieting. It's not about bounce back, not about getting your body back. Like your body, if you gave birth, it just went through this huge, enormous physical thing, and it's going to take some real nourishment to help it meet the nutrients that it needs. So again, things like low energy, things like mood swings, brain fog, irritability can often be connected to not eating enough or eating regularly. But eating, if you're anything like me, was one of the things that was so easy to forget, right? When you're feeding your baby, when you're taking care of everything, it can be hard to remember to feed yourself. And that's a learning curve that I encourage anyone who's listening to this who's like, ooh, I don't know if I eat consistently. So really think about it. Okay, what would it look like for me to maybe make some more sopitas or like, have somebody drop off a delicious meal for me or help create some freezer meals? How can I ask for help? Because a lot of this is also not always that we don't have people around us who would love to show up for us. Some of us really struggle with feeling like a burden or like, oh, I don't want to ask for help because they got a lot going on. But I can almost guarantee you the people in your life who love you, they want to support you. They want to see you be well. And I know that sometimes, especially if you're postpartum, people think that coming over and holding the baby is help. But it's okay to be like, actually, I kind of want to, bond with my baby, but would you be able to bring some veggies and some fruits because my body needs it? Also, another little tip that I really recommend is if you're breastfeeding or chest feeding, like your baby, you can also bring little snacks, like little portable, what if it's like a little Nutri-Grain or if it's a trail mix, if it's a banana, just put them around the areas that you do that so that you're visually reminded. Because that's also another way to help increase habits of eating more consistently is visually putting them around you or asking whoever goes grocery shopping, hey, could you pick up a few things for me? Maybe some crackers, maybe some fruits, maybe whatever it is that you want. Starting is key. I know for me personally, the time and energy to make breakfast, especially after my husband went back to work and I was still home with baby, was honestly too much for me to even think about. So we ended up finding these little protein shakes and they were chocolate flavored. I like them. And it really at least got to me thinking like, okay, I'm gonna wake up and maybe within an hour or two of waking up, right? Not waiting until lunchtime, but within an hour or two, maybe I'm just gonna drink one because I know that I need a little bit of protein. I need some nourishment. So for you again, really think about what does it look like realistically. With each of these, you can always think about like, okay, I like a little scale practice when we talk about 1 to 10. So I want you to think about on a scale of 1 to 10, my nutrition is at a, and then 10 would be like, ooh, I got like I'm a nutritionist. I'm following all of the things that I preach and I'm bomb at this. To one is like, I don't remember eating consistently, or I'm not really feeding myself. And then wherever you are on that scale, let's say I say I'm a 6, what would make it a 7? And then helps us create little baby steps. Like, okay, maybe what will make it a 7 is if I start putting a cup of fruits next to me whenever I'm putting the baby down to sleep so that I can at least pop in some berries and eat. So that's the first little N. That's the first part that we want to think about when we're talking about postpartum care and beyond. The second one is E, which is exercise. And I don't mean like deadlifting 100 pounds because that's what you used to do, or jogging 5 miles because that's what you used to do or think you need to do. And I don't even want you to think about it in forms of, I'm doing this so I can look a certain way. It's really about movement. So I often even just kind of change that E to a movement, exercise or movement, because it's ways for you to reconnect with your body. Maybe getting some stretches in, maybe some gentle walks, maybe some pelvic floor exercises, or even rocking or dancing with your baby. I know me and my girl, like, I would get overstimulated a lot with the crying. And I wouldn't know what to do, but eventually I kind of found like if we stepped outside a little patio, we had a little tree, and it was really grounding for me. So I would just sway with her back and forth when she was crying. And honestly, that helped me a lot. And I nerd out on mental health stuff. So that co-regulation is really important, right? Like we can share our calm with our baby. Doesn't always mean that the crying will stop, but if we're able to move forward from a place of calm, then maybe they can see that, like, okay, I'm safe, mama's safe, we're all right, or papa's safe, we're all right. But getting that movement, eventually, you'll build to a routine with exercises that feel better. Obviously, definitely talk to your doctor or your other movement coach if you have one to think about, like, okay, how can I actually move in ways that respect what my body just went through? Real talk, a lot of us are dealing with tears and scars and all of that stuff. So be gentle with yourself. Also, that mindset, be gentle there too, because I know I tried to start doing all these full body stuff when my daughter was a few months old, and I just didn't have the time, the capacity, or the energy. And I needed to be okay with that. Like maybe right now our movement is I'm gonna put on a yoga video and I'm gonna search postpartum stretches on YouTube, or Nurtured in Movement on Instagram. Y'all go check her out. We also did a video, so I'll put it here too to link. But maybe there are people out there who really want to help and figure out how can we get some movement, slow, gentle, getting reconnected with our body because that disconnection is real. The third one is S for sleep and rest. And I know if you got a newborn or you got a toddler who doesn't sleep, you might be like, what are you talking about, millennial thermom? But I want to help us reframe rest and not just sleeping, but getting rest as much as we can throughout the day. So maybe it means fighting the urge to go wash those dishes when your baby is napping and breathing, doing a guided meditation, allowing your body to settle, okay, and like not pushing yourself past your brink, which is like a mind trick for sure. Another one could be just resting your eyes, laying down. I I I'm full of examples, but one example that I actually tried for myself was just setting a timer for 5 minutes and forcing myself, like I'd put the phone over there and I would force myself to lay outside on the patio and just close my eyes because I didn't realize how much I struggled with resting. I am also a child of immigrants, and I think that it's just kind of ingrained in us to keep working, keep go, go, go. And though I honor that work ethic and I'm grateful for it, I also am now in the field of mental health and wellness. And I know that allowing ourselves to rest is not selfish. We need it. We were created to rest. So whatever that might look like, if you have your co-parent, your partner next to you or in the house with you, maybe saying, hey, would you mind? keeping track of nap or taking care of baby, watching baby for an hour so that I can rest. That might be another mindset thing that we might need to go through, asking for help, right? Like it takes two to tango, it takes two to make a baby, and not everyone has their partner for support. So maybe does that mean who else in my village? Is it a tia? Is it a mama? Is it a friend who is around? And maybe y'all do that for each other. It's like, hey, I'll come over and watch your baby so you can rest or breathe or whatever you need to do. So really leaning into that support and trying to get as much rest as you possibly can. And again, I know that in postpartum, your baby's not really sleeping long chunks, but even if it's 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, two, eventually those spaces will grow, and allowing your mind to breathe and rest during that time is key. If you do have trouble falling asleep, I would recommend trying like some of the guided breathing meditations or guided sleep meditations. They have them online, they have them on the Calm app and Headspace and elsewhere. But it also could be like you need professional help to be like, why do I keep my thoughts just keep running around? And in therapy language, it's rumination. And it could be that you would benefit from some professional support, from professional skill sets. So definitely don't feel ashamed. And if you need resources, Postpartum Support International is a great one, but you can also reach out to me and I'll do my best to try to connect you to someone who knows the postpartum kind of roller coaster and knows how to meet you where you're at. But definitely try to get rest as much as you can. T is time for yourself. So, this is one of the first things that disappears in postpartum, and that a lot of us struggle with, especially if you're like me, an introvert, that I'm like the ideal image is I'm sitting outside by myself reading a book, right? I haven't really had that since having a baby. Well, now I do. I definitely have learned to ask for that. But it's one of those things where you need to find ways to reconnect with yourself. I actually just recorded a video a couple of months ago with Creative Comadre around creativity. That could be one way that we reconnect with ourselves. You can also do journaling and just say, some things on my mind, some things I need, some things I enjoy, your values. You can sit in the sun, you can play, you can pray, you can connect back to those things that you enjoy, and then help you feel like you again. Because rediscovering yourself in postpartum and in motherhood in general is a whole journey. And I honestly think it's so beautiful. I think that motherhood does change us. I do think that being parents does change us. And maybe some of us need to be changed a little bit, right? Like I probably overfunctioned way too much before having a baby. I'd be there for everybody else. It was so easy to neglect myself. But once I had a child and once I started to see how my burnout of like not caring for myself was also impacting my baby, my ability to be present with my baby. Oh, my motivation shifted. I was like, I gotta figure this out because I don't want to be reactive. I want to be able to respond, but that means making time for yourself, helping fight that mom guilt with self-compassion. Y'all know that's my favorite thing. And saying, like, no, I know that mama needs some time for herself so that I can be the kind of mama I want to be. Or Papa needs a time for himself to be the kind of Papa he's meant to be is really important. So really trying to tap into like, okay, what were the things that I used to like? Do I still like them? Or what are new passions that I have? What do I want to do? So really encouraging you to do that. And again, it can be 5 minutes at a time. Like maybe you start with morning. This is actually one of my favorites that I started, like little morning routines for yourself, where for 5 minutes, you wash your face, you comb your hair, whatever it might be. I know I put the little like dry shampoo and spray when I didn't have a whole time to take a shower in the morning. And then maybe doing a little cafecito or a little tea and just sipping it slowly and connecting with yourself. And if you have time, then journaling or prayer or whatever else helps fill your cup and helps you connect back to you. You deserve that. And I hope you lean into that. And last but not least for this acronym is a second S, which is support. So support is not optional in postpartum or in motherhood. We were created to do parenthood together. And postpartum is already so much on our plates that in our society, there's just way too much on our plates that we need to spread it out. So support could look like emotional support, having a homegirl, having a friend that you can be real with and you can be honest about what you're going through without them being like, Well, you should be grateful. It's like, I know that I'm grateful and I'm still a human being with emotions and hormones and all the shifts in my lives. It can also look like practical support, right? Can somebody else take lead on laundry or dishes or whatever it is that you feel like you got to be responsible for? Why, right? Like, you got a lot on your plate already as it is, and it's okay to lean and ask for help in that way. There's also community and connecting with other people, and then professional care. So if you realize, like, I think I do need to talk to a therapist because it's getting a little overwhelming. I don't even know where to start. This nest stuff, yeah, nah, I'm not about that. Like, if you really need help, then that's okay. And I wanted to also share that related to the community part, that's why I created the Motherhood Escuelita. That's why I created the cafecitos and why I do the workshop, because these are places where moms and parents can slow down, they can feel seen, and they can learn some tools from grounding, self-compassion, and care together because we are meant to do this together. No one is self-made, right? Like we were all babies at some point too. So like we need to be cared for, and that still applies to us today. So really taking in and stepping back and being like, all right, where am I in this? How do I take care of myself? How do I lean on support? And eventually, once you're ready, then if you feel like I don't really have any close friends, I know that that was one thing for me, like kind of relearning how do I make friends in motherhood? Because I would usually make friends at work, going to the library, meeting some people, talking, eventually connecting over our kids, and then just being real and honest, like about what's going on and what you need help with. And I know I didn't necessarily do the scaling of the 1 to 10 for all of the NESTS, but you can pause. You can do that for yourself. You can write it down. I actually, in my OG video around this, I went through and ended the video thinking, okay, for each of these letters, where am I on a 1 to 10? Like I mentioned before, where what would make it one jump further, and then choosing maybe one or two baby steps that you're going to practice in the next week. I'm a big proponent of baby steps, and I would love to hear comment in the little sections below, like what's your baby step. I love to encourage you, and I also want to again plug the Madrehood Escuelita. That's what it's all about. It's helping mama slow down, breathe, reconnect, and also have some accountability. I will be up in there chatting with anybody who wants to talk about how they're taking care of themselves. I'm going to encourage you, and I'm going to try to encourage you in increasing your self-compassion voice as well so that you always have that. So you don't always necessarily need somebody from the outside saying, no, mija, rest, like you deserve it. Or, hey, eat because you're hungry. Like, don't just push it down. Like, I want that to be your voice too. I've had to build that voice in my own postpartum, and that's why I know it's been a game changer. You can go to the Millennial Theramon page, and in the Motherhood Escuelita, if you use the founding members code, so founding members, you'll get a special rate. Only $27 a month, y'all, which is, I think, way cheaper than, well, I know way cheaper than most other kind of therapy or community spaces. And again, this space is not therapy, which is why I've been able to make it more accessible. It's really supposed to be peer-based support and education. Like, I got all these degrees for a reason, and I also love to teach. So I feel like, hey, why not just teach what some of these trainings and degrees have taught me? I don't always think that we need one-on-one therapy to help validate and build some of these tools. So definitely just picking up little tools here and there that will help you be well, while also acknowledging that if you do need mental health, professional mental health support, that's also an option. So now we're at this end of this video. I hope that you follow and subscribe, and I hope that you take care of yourself. I'm going to be reading this from a script, so take a deep breath, get comfortable in your body, and I want to remind you there is no right way to do this. You don't need to feel calm, peaceful, or still even. Just bring your body here as it is. And if it feels safe, allow your eyes to gently close or just soften your gaze. Notice where your body is supported right now, whether it's a chair, the floor, the bed, the ground, and what that feels like. Let's take a slow breath in through the nose and a longer breath out through the mouth. Again, breathe in breathe out. You can even place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly, or wherever your body needs some touch as you do your next breath. In, out. Bring your attention to your body, the body that carried, birthed, gived, and continues to give. And silently whisper to yourself, my body deserves nourishment. Imagine nourishment arriving, warmth, softness, steadiness. This is care. Now bring awareness to your muscles and your joints. Notice any places that hold tension. Is it your shoulders, your jaw, your hips? And if it feels okay, make a small movement. Maybe roll your shoulders. Stretch your neck, or gently sway. And you can silently repeat, I move in ways that support me. Now let your attention drift toward rest. Even if sleep feels far away, rest is available in moments. Notice your breath slowing, your body being held. You might say to yourself, rest is not a reward, it is a need. Now bring to mind a moment, even a small one, when you feel like yourself. It could be creativity, writing, prayer, reading, laughter, being outside. Let yourself feel that part of you still here. And say to yourself, I am still me. Finally, bring awareness to support. Picture one person, one place, or one community where you feel less alone. If support feels complicated, that's okay. Remind yourself, I was never meant to do this alone. Take one more slow breath in and let it go. Notice your body again, supported, breathing here. You can return to these nests anytime you feel overwhelmed or unsteady. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and bring movement back into your body. Remember, you are doing enough. You are worthy of care. May you continue to nest yourself with compassion, one breath, one moment at a time. Cuídense.